Oh, hello, kids. Welcome back. Just enjoying a nice cup of coffee. Ooh-wee. What do we got? I'll tell you what we got. Mission 13. Please be easy to open. Oh, paper cut. Be careful. Haha, that's the ticket. All right. Mission 13. When word detectives see a big word that has an ending they know, they can break the ending off to figure out the part that is left over. Then they can put the parts back together to read the whole word in a way that makes sense and sounds right. Let me repeat. The words have to make sense and sound right. If it doesn't make sense and sound right, then you've got to go back and fix it. Your teacher will show you how it's done.
So what are we working on today? Break the ending off the word. Okay, so that's what we're working on today. So before we try to break the ending off of words, let's quickly remind ourselves of the endings we see in lots of words. So let's think about a list of endings that we see in lots of words. So I see a lot of you saying, okay, we see this word jump, but it could be jumps, jumped, or jumping. So that tells us that the kinds of endings we see, word detectives watch out for endings like ing, ed, s, or es. So you're absolutely right. These endings are all over our books, and they can often make words seem bigger and longer and trickier than they really are. So now that we know what we're looking for, let's watch out for endings and break them off to make words easier to solve. And you know how we were reading the story of Frog and Toad? We're going to do that on this page together. So first you're going to watch how I do this. I wonder if there are word endings that we know on this page. It looks like we see quite a few. So let's go ahead and read this page and then think about ways that we could break off the ending. So once upon a time, said Frog, there were two good, oh, we see the word. So let's break off the ending. And what word do we see? Friend. There were two good friends. Great job. So we took the ending off by covering it with our finger and put the ending back on to read the whole word. A frog and a toad. The frog was not, oh, we see this long word. We're not going to get too scared. We're going to just cover up the ending. We see an ing. So we know that's one of the endings that are always coming up in our books. We cover it up. The frog was not feeling. Great job. Well, he asked his friend the toad to tell him a story. The toad could not think of a story. He walked up and down the porch, but he could not think of a story. He stood on his head, but he could not think of a story. He pulled, oh, let's see. I see another easy ending. You're absolutely right. We could highlight this word too. Pour. So let's cover up that ending. Pour, poured. Okay, he poured water over his head, but he could not think of a story. Let's see here. So notice that we covered that ending part of pour, and we saw pour, and we also need to ask ourselves, does that sound right? And does that make sense? And does it look right? Pour. Okay, yes, it does. All right, let's continue to hear what we have. He bang. Okay, let's cover that up to read this part. Bang. See, I'm doing a slow check and then revealing the end. Banged his head against the wall, but he still could not think of a story. Does that make sense? Does that sound right to you? Does that look right? Okay, yes. That We have done such great work together. So, detectives, even though big words seem a little scary at first, you have some tricks to tackle them. One thing you can do is look across the word and see if there's a word ending that you know. If there is a word ending that you know, you could break the ending off using your finger and read through the word using your other strategies, thinking about the beginning sound, doing a slow check, getting yourself a running start. And then you could reveal that word ending to put it all together and read through the word. But don't forget to check it. So you want to go back and ask yourself, does that make sense? Does that sound right? Does that look right? And once you're able to check it, and it does, you can check across all of those um, ways of knowing, then you're able to move on to the next word. So off you go to break those endings off and be able to tackle those tricky words and solve those word solving mysteries. Great job. See you next time.